Welcome. In previous videos, we spoke about making sure that our information is visible. So when we go to the Family Search page, we touch in the upper right corner where it says our name. It's not showing right now. And then in the settings, contact, and making sure that our email address is public. We did continue on to talk about Find a Grave, and here I found a photo in Find a Grave, and I want to add that to Family Search, but I do not find that ancestor. So I search for James, and I put the information in, and nothing comes up. The search criteria is on the left in this box view. As I mentioned previously, the box view seems to be a default, and many times after they've added whatever new fancy gizmo the programmers and CEO wants in the background, it goes back to a more easily used GUI interface. But today that doesn't come up, so we go to add that individual. So he's not related to me as closely as I'd like. I can't find one of those hints to show right now, but I wanted to show you a couple of things in adding photos. So I go to add an unrelated person. Sometimes when I'm working in an area that I know my ancestor lived in, I'll add a record from the cemetery records on Find a Grave for every individual that died in that cemetery that has the same last name as my relative, and then I know that is in the database. And so again, we couldn't find this one that we're wanting to enter, so I've copied some data and I paste it in, and then I get rid of the unneeded portions. I could put the SIR in. I'm not going to do that. And it's easier to add this from a relative, but it's not very hard from this is date of birth, and since I've got two full dates in there, it gives me both options in the standardized format, and it's important to have it in the standardized format. Now I'm in a place, so Denmark shows up. Usually it'll be a state in the United States, and the format is to have the states of the United States there with a comma in United States, and it's important to format it in a way that it makes that possible. Oops, I've got a typo on the last name. I didn't work very carefully there, so I'm going to add that again, and it will make change history, but those little changes don't matter much. And so just for this short little amount of time that we've had this record open, we can see that in the change history that it'll show that I went into that name more than once, and that I can go back to what I changed it from. Sometimes that restore stays, sometimes it doesn't. It's important when you're using the merge feature that nothing happens after that merge, in case you decide that that really needed to stay as what was there previously as two separate individuals. So we want to add this photo for James Jensen, and he's over here, and you get your photo however you'd like. If you're copying from something on the internet, you can open up that photo, save image as. It'll pop up whatever your program is processed. I upgraded to Windows 10, so this looks different than it used to. I'm not really concerned about that extra letter at the end, and it pops up at the bottom for me. So now when I'm ready to add in, I can pull that over. Doesn't really keep that same number, it's in there, so I can say add that photo because it's automatically checked. Now that I know the photo's in, I can get rid of my shortcut and see more of my screen. And it shows up in the database. Now here's where we haven't caught up on the training videos in Family Tree screening it, but I can click on it once and it'll say on there, click to add a tag. Actually, the first tag is already in there. Click on the photo to add a tag. Well, don't do that if there's only one. Just edit the tag that's in there so we could have a picture. And many times when you add a second tag, you find that it doesn't really work because the first tag is in there. It's a little confusing. I don't know why. I know why, but the information on the screen hasn't caught up with the latest process that's been tweaked. So we're waiting for that view to come up. If I had more than one photo, I could click on his photo and I could set the preference. And that's what you'd have to do if you had multiple tags. But if you found out that you followed the information that it said and you tagged the photo again, it would show more than one. But you could go over to the right and clean up that information. Many times there's more than one individual in the photo, and I would then click a second time and find that person's information, and I would make sure the ID number's in there, and then it'll ask you to link it to the family tree, and then you can process it the same way. Thank you. Have a good day. Thanks for trying FamilySearch and working with us.